Good morning, everybody. Alright, it's time to make another delivery now. This time, Milan, Missouri to Milan Processing. You see it on Google Maps as Pet Poultry. I've been there once before. It's about a 60, about a little over 60-mile drive. I'm currently at the Loves in Bevier, Missouri, off US 36. I'm going to head west on 36. And then go up State Route 5 from there. It'll take me right into Milan. It'll be northbound on State Route 5, by the way. Highway 5 is between here and Chillicothe, if I recall. Double check that. I'm pretty sure it's on this side of Chillicothe. I've thought about taking that Highway 129 route again just for the hell of it. Yeah, I don't think I will. Clear over here. Head west. Or come down to 36 and then head west. I do have a reload after this. It's not due for pickup until tomorrow morning, but it's not the same load that I was expecting that I would be getting, because I was originally pre-planned onto a load from Ottumwa, Iowa to Rocky Mount, North Carolina. However, when I expressed concern about whether I'd be able to deliver on time, even though it wasn't scheduled for delivery yet, I just knew the delivery date, I had a little bit of concern that I might not be able to get there until the afternoon or something of that day, and I have no experience at all with that particular customer, so I have no idea if I should expect a morning appointment time or if any kind of day it can be scheduled or whatever. It's kind of a gray area there. I don't know, there's a possibility I probably could have made it still, but I don't know, because I'm running on recaps, and well, the recaps weren't so much a concern as it was, timing between each shift. In hindsight now, this load I'm under right now, I could have gotten all the way to Milan with it last night, or yesterday, whatever, with what was left on my clock, but I ended up staying here. Honestly, I'd rather stay near, stay by a place where I have access to restrooms and other services, whatever, anyway. I'm guessing it'll be about a 30-ish, maybe a 30 to 40 mile trip across from 36 to, looks like it's just on the other side of Brookfield. Actually, in Brookfield is, Buckland is where I went up last time. That would be an interesting one to show you guys. I don't think I want to go that way again. I can, why would I? Alright, State Route 3 coming up here. Now, where's Bevier, Missouri? It is just a little bit west of where US 63 goes up from Columbia, Columbia, Missouri. That one should be easy to find on the map. It's about halfway between Kansas City and St. Louis on I-70. And you'll see US 63 going northbound from it. And it goes right through Moberly. A lot of reefer drivers should be familiar with Moberly. Continue north on 63 from there up to Macon. where 63 and 36 meet up, and then head west from there is where I'm at. Alright, so I was expecting to do I could say the Ottawa to Rocky Mountain, North Carolina route, but the planner yanked it just in case. And I got another load now that picks up tomorrow morning in Council Bluffs, and it's going to Ontario, California. I was having to make a distinction with Ontario because some people want, Alright, first, in the trucking world, there are two Ontarios that we might be apt to visit. Ontario, California, and Ontario, Oregon. Ontario, California, of course, is in the West San Bernardino Valley, right by where I-10 and I-15 meet up. And Ontario, Oregon is on I-84, right by the Oregon-Idaho border. And then you have the third one where people think, when they hear Ontario, they automatically think the province in Canada, even though Ontario's not a city in Canada. That's a province. It's like a state. It's like saying California. Cities in Ontario would be like Toronto. I forget what other cities in Canada are in that province, but I know Toronto's the most notable city in that area. But yeah, I used to always, when I was in the Air Force and I'd travel, say, when I fly commercial to stateside bases for one thing or another, whatever. Sometimes, you sit there and chit-chat with somebody on the flight, or whether it's in the waiting area, at the gate waiting area, whatever, or actually on the flight or whatever, it never filled. Someone was always thinking, as if I wasn't on the same flight into Ontario already with them, and maybe it was on, let's just say, Oklahoma City to Dallas, and then I would fly from Dallas to Ontario or something, or Dallas to LAX. It would never fell on that lake going to DFW or wherever else I happened to be. I tell people, I'm on my way to Ontario. And they're like, oh, you're going to Canada? I'm like, no. Ontario, California. It's like, I know I've been accused of sounding like a Canuck, but I'm not a Canuck. Yeah, it's pretty common, well, not an everyday thing, but it's not unusual where somebody detects some subtleties in the way I talk versus the way other people, a normal everyday American, I guess, would talk. So I get asked every so often where I'm from. Yeah, and of course California is where I always say, because that's where I was born and raised and grew up and lived my entire life outside the military. I think I talk mostly normal, but then again, I don't know. I know a lot of times I tend to pronounce things the Spanish-speaking way. I wouldn't really call it Spanglish, but I would call it a California dialect, I guess. In a way, it's because it's very common for people from Cali to speak with kind of a mix between American and Spanish sounds to them. Now, a lot of that has to do with the way I articulate the vowels. From what I noticed, it's I do have that tendency to want to pronounce things a lot of times the way Spanish speakers articulate the vowels. there's a key difference between American English and Spanish. Actually, American English is it's actually one of the minority languages out there that pronounces vowels more than one way. Most languages, you see a vowel, it's pronounced one and only one way. So, like Spanish, Italian, I don't know about French, but basically the Latin languages in general. I assume French would be also, but again, I don't know any French, so I don't know for sure. But I do know for sure Spanish and Italian are done the same way. Where if you see the letter A, it's always pronounced ah. It's not pronounced A, or whatever else. It's only ever pronounced ah. And then the E's are always pronounced A. Yeah, this is what's really going to confuse you if you're an American. And only an English speaker. And even more confusing, the letter I is pronounced E. But that's E, not I. Just the way it is. You can thank American English for that. American English, remember English in general is a Germanic language for one. It's not Latin based. There's a lot of English that is Latin based, but as a whole, the English language is considered a Germanic language. Brookfield is 18 miles out. And I'll be a little bit past Brookfield when I make my turn. And set that so I know how far out I am. I do old school, I don't do GPS. So yeah, a lot of you guys who know me well already know I don't use GPS. If you're newer to my channel, yeah, I don't use GPS at all. At most I use I'll get the map view only of Google Maps. And I'll know where I'm at, I'll know where my customer's at, and I plan out before I even go how I'm going to get there. So I already know exactly what highway I'm looking for. I don't always, but a lot of times I'll double check like what exit number I need, and then whether I'm looking for a diamond or cloverleaf or on ramp or off ramp, whatever, or if I'm expecting something else like maybe an at-grade crossing, and I'll look for railroad tracks and stuff that I might want to watch for and things like that on any of the roads that I might be more concerned with. Now this particular time today, though, I've already been on this route that I'll be taking. I know it's a good route for trucks. There will be a couple of towns, I think 2 or 3 towns I'll have to go through on the way up. Something like that. Alright, so anyway, going back to the languages. Yeah, most languages, they might have 5 vowels and they only have 5 pronunciations. So each vowel gets 1 pronunciation. Now, or at least languages that use the Latin alphabet. And just because they use the Latin alphabet doesn't mean that they use Latin language base. Alright, so that American, actually Queen's English or, British English or whatever, or the other, I think Irish, Queen's, any English-speaking country outside of America, basically, more than likely speaks what we call the Queen's English type dialect or something similar to that. And it's the same rule there in general. Traditional English there, you only pronounce vowels one way. Like you get Tom Reed or Lisa, also known as Ice 187. She's on the channel a lot. Probably get them to talk to you, pay closer attention to how they talk, and you might catch on to that. I'm not saying they are like quite literally that one way. As I said, there are a bunch of dialects in England as well. think of dialects as like completely unique languages. In a way, no, I wouldn't really say that. Dialect is more like a variation of a language. So, like here in America, you might have like your average everyday kind of English that people speak. Then you might have my type of English that I tend to speak, which is kind of that Spanish infused. Because of where I'm from, it's largely Hispanic population. And or if you go to like different parts of Texas, you'll see people in different areas of Texas actually speak with different types of accents. Some will sound very normal-ish, whatever, like say the more West Texas areas, or really, I don't know, the more rural areas, I would say, or they tend to have that more country kind of accent, I guess. I don't know how you, or a lot of times you can catch somebody from the Houston area having kind of a fusion between like a regular Southern dialect with the Cajun from because Houston is not far from Louisiana, so we might get some fusion of like Southern roots and Cajun mixed in. Now, Cajun is mostly I think rooted in French and Creole, which of course Creole I think is also a French derivative. So there are a little bit of subtleties there too, and it's more the accents, and then also certain words that get used also, like you go in the South, whatever, you might hear someone say down yonder or something like that. What the hell's down yonder mean? If you're from my neck of the woods, like down yonder, what the hell are you talking about? It's just basically a slang. It's a local area slangs that are very common in that region, that are not common in other regions, but it's otherwise still the same language. That's another way to explain what differences in dialect are. Same might go for, you go to a lot of, some areas of Chicago, you'll have multiple dialects there. You might have people with like an Italian type of dialect, or sounding dialect like 10 miles out. Or you might get people from the south side Chicago having I don't have a lot of experience with people from that area, but I know south side Chicago is more heavily populated with basic ghettos, lower class blacks, predominantly black, not just black. And then you might hear more Ebonic kind of stuff there. Who knows what? Again, I don't know that area. Actually, I did have a trainee, my favorite trainee probably. And actually, he's the one who recorded the #1 video on my channel. He was from the south side of Chicago. Great guy. I don't really, he had kind of a fusion, I guess, between a little bit of Ebonic and normal. I don't know how to explain the accent that he had. He had a little bit of an accent, but not much. I don't know, just not too far off from what I guess I would think I would talk like, but you can tell he's from a different part of the country. Or maybe go to Boston or something, and you got Boston, New York, New Jersey, even to some extent. Anthony Griffin, you can probably explain that better since you're from New Jersey, and you have the history of New York as well. But everybody knows what the stereotypical accent is like there. Alright, so that route, that highway I just passed over there in Rockland is the one I took up last time. It's more time spent at lower speeds and has curves and stuff to deal with, so I don't want to go that way. Anyway, that's a nutshell explanation of what dialects actually are. Because I remember before I figured this out from being educated by my wife, I was in the same boat. I had a Filipino girlfriend, and yeah, of course, the general language in Philippines is Tagalog. But then I find out that out of all the different islands and stuff in the Philippines, everybody had like different dialects also. Like her dad, I think, was from Cebu, or one of the two. One of her parents was from Cebu, and the other one was from Mindanao. Or yeah, I think that was it. And I guess each has their own dialect. And I was thinking, are they completely different languages that are perhaps based on Tagalog or something? And I never really understood if someone from Cebu could understand, like speaking in their own dialect, could have a conversation with somebody from Mindanao having their own, talking in their own language. And I get the impression that they could not communicate in their unique dialects, but could communicate with each other via Tagalog. But I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Charles Wright, one of my viewers, regulars on here, his wife Jocelyn is Filipina, I mean. So I will posit that question for you, Charles, if you're watching this. Perhaps Jocelyn can educate me on that. Can someone speaking their own dialect in Philippines have a conversation with somebody in a different part of the Philippines talking in their own dialect? Is it a lot like, say, one of us, like maybe me talking to someone from Atlanta or Alabama or Louisiana or somewhere or something? It gets me laughing because I was just watching My Cousin Vinny again the other day. That's a good movie. If you haven't seen it, it's a great movie. It's got Joe Pesci, Marissa Tomei, Ralph Macchio. What's the guy's name who plays Herman Munster from the Munsters? I can't remember his name. Yeah, I think that's him. He plays the judge, and then I forget who the other guy is. It's a really, really good movie, and if I'm not mistaken, it's an Oscar winner as well. But there's a scene in there where they're in the court, and Joe Pesci's character is basically talking about two youths, whatever. Because if you've never seen the movie before, I don't want to give too much away. It's just go watch it. It's basically you got Ralph Macchio and the other guy. They basically get they get a bunch of grocery stuff from this little mart, like a gas and bill mart, whatever, and I guess one of them accidentally steals something. I don't think they even did it on purpose or something, if I remember right. But they end up getting accused of murder because someone gets shot. Someone there at the mart gets shot, and basically they were framed, or not really framed, but mistaken identity kind of thing. And they have to go to, they got arrested and go to court, basically. Alright, so anyway, court scenes, Joe Pesci saying something about two youths, which basically was implying that it was Ralph Macchio and the other guy, or two different people who were being confused with them. I got Highway 11 coming up here, Mendon and Brookfield. I'll go to, Blacklead. Blacklead is where I make my right turn onto Highway 5. Okay. Anyway, Joe Pesci says two Utes, like U-T-E-S, like the American Indian, or as some might say, Native American tribes that are more well known in the mountain states, like Utah. I think maybe a little bit of Wyoming, and generally that ballpark. That's how, which I believe is part of how Utah got its name. I think. Anyway, and the judge is like, "Wait, did you say Utes?" And it's like, he doesn't know that he's actually trying to say youths. Like young boys, young men, whatever, or young boys or something. And it's just the way it was pronounced. It's spelled the same way, it just comes out a different way. And I've had the same issue with people from the South. Like I remember as a woman when I went to do an inspection on one of our airplanes over at Birmingham, Alabama. They have a depot facility there that we use. On airplanes, at regular intervals, depending on the aircraft type, they might go what you call program depot maintenance, or PDM, at usually about 4 or 5 year intervals. And what they do is they send the airplane to this facility, and then they just tear the whole airplane apart practically. Take all the flight controls off. Usually take the wingtips off. Like on a KC-135, which is what I was there for. They'll take the entire fin off the aircraft, or the vertical stabilizer, as we call it. Or there's a lot of 135 guys call it a fin. They'll just tear everything apart. They take every damn flight control possible off. They take all the landing gear off. They take all the engines off and all that, and then they overhaul everything. And do like really deep level inspection there that can't be done at home station. And I went over there to Birmingham to do an inspection on a bird that was getting ready to come home. And I remember there was a woman working there who had a fairly thick southern accent, and there were times like, and all of us, not just me, but all of us there, all of us being from California, we were getting confused on what word she was saying, because we were expecting it to be one word, but it came out completely different. And we thought we actually mixed it up with a completely different word that we're familiar with. I think it was like 8 versus alright, or something like that, or something along that line. And I remember we were just scratching our heads like, what the hell did you just say? I mean, we kind of got the context, but then scratching our heads also, trying to figure out, are we understanding her correctly, or is she saying something completely different that we just, and we're not getting the context. So that's how bad it can be with southern accents here. So if you're Lisa, Tom, or anybody else who speaks more the traditional or Queens type English, and you struggle with southern dialect, don't feel bad, you're not the only one. Highway 5 should be coming up pretty soon. Yeah, I've done 31 miles, so right in the ballpark that I was expecting. Change my zoom level. I see a green sign up ahead over the next couple of hills. I'm gonna venture a guess that that sign is for Highway 5. Highway 5 coming up right here. Swan Lake National Wildlife Refuge, 13 miles south. I'm going to head north though. Missouri Welcome Center affiliate. State Historic Site, next right. Pershing something. Alright, look, lead is 1 mile. Linnaeus is 6. It's going to be another roughly 30 miles up this road. Definitely doesn't look like the kind of road you'd expect a truck to be using, but yeah, if you look on the map, it is it's got some curves, but it's not as bad as that 129, or I think it is, route that I took last time. I don't have so many tight curves to deal with. So there's another truck right there, STI. I think there used to be a low bridge, and then they took it out to allow trucks to come through here. If I had to guess, because that looks like it was too low for trucks to pass through, pass under before. Milan, 30 miles out. Yeah, that's about what I expected. So what I do for those of you guys who don't understand how I do my trip planning, I'll use Google Maps just to get an idea on the miles, and that's it. So I'll do a preview route and have it show me what route it thinks I should take, and then how many miles it is. Yeah, that's a big ass bull there. Pretty good size one or whatever. But I don't follow GPS instructions even from Google. I look on the map. I use my knowledge of how the hierarchy of the roads works. There's basically your highest level road are the interstates and freeways. Then your second level, it will be their U.S. highways. Third level will be state highways. And then the next level down will be our basically, well, I don't know about county roads. Then you got our, yeah, you can kind of say our county roads there. Then you got at the next level is arterial roads, which are basically regular street roads that give you access to the freeways or interstates or turnpikes or whatever applies in your area. And then you have feeder roads. Those are the ones that get you from. I mean, then after feeder, you have the kind of the smaller, like residential or small area kind of streets. And there's a rhyme or reason to this. So basically, the feeder roads give the people access. Basically, the residential areas give them access to the arterial roads, and the arterial roads are ones that get them to the major highways. So if you go down in priority like that, try to always stay on the highest priority road you can. That is practical for your route. It goes a long way in keeping you out of trouble. But then you also got to use some common sense on stuff too, like case in point. I forget the name of that town. Is it Morristown in Iowa? I want to say it might be it. I picked up JBS load up there, or I want to say JBS, yeah. Okay, it's up on the north, I would say northeast side of Morristown. I don't even know if I'm in the right city. If you go up from Des Moines, actually go east on 80 from Des Moines, a short distance and go up US 65. That'll run you into, I think, State Route 100 or 300 or I forget what that number is. That'll get you up to US 30. Yeah, US 30. And then you go east on 30 and that'll take you right over to it. I think it's like Morristown or something along that line. But you get over there, and now following this road hierarchy system that I'm talking about, you would end up wanting to go right through downtown Morristown. But when I trip plan there, I'm looking at the whole town there, and I'm seeing like closely spaced streets along that route. And I think to myself, if I see a bunch of closely spaced streets like that, I know for sure I'm going to get a lower speed limit and probably some traffic lights as well. Even more so when you see like retail businesses and stuff on that road. Whereas if I go just a little bit east, to the outskirt of town, there was a straight road up there that had very sparsely spaced intersections between there and the street that JBS was on, and I was thinking to myself, I'm going to go ahead and use that road instead. And again, I'm also looking on that kind of thing for railroad tracks, and then I want to know what. Yeah, I'll use satellite view and also even street view if that's what's necessary to double check if there's going to be a railroad crossing. Am I going to have a low bridge or something, or what size bridge am I going to deal with if there is one at all? 9 times out of 10, if you're in a truck and you have a low clearance to deal with, it's usually going to be a railroad bridge. Alright, welcome to Linnaeus. One of Junior Honduras' I think trucks, because I saw him yesterday. I passed him up on US 63 yesterday, and then I saw him also at the Loves as well. Yeah, it is his truck. That's one of Junior's trucks, from what I understand. I know it says Honduras and some other shit on the side of it. Because like I said, I passed him up on US 63 yesterday afternoon. And so apparently he delivered up here in Milan as well. That's why he's coming down this way. Now speaking of, this receiver is a first come first serve or FCFS receiver. So as long as I show up today, it doesn't matter so much what time. Just get there today, and like I said, my next load is not due for pickup until tomorrow morning, and yeah, I can afford to take it a little bit easier. 105 miles, Browning 12. Yeah, that's one beat up property. Yeah, that's not Junior driving that truck, but I think it's one of the trucks he owns. There was some little bit heavier set white guy driving it. And the guy I just saw right now is the same guy I saw yesterday. Now some of you guys might be like, who the hell is Junior Honduras? He's a well-known YouTube personality. He has a lot of he does a lot of vlogs and helpful videos as well. He has backing videos and stuff on his channel as well. I don't subscribe to him myself. I don't tend to pay much attention to other truckers unless I know them personally, like Scotty D. But I can't. I mean, now I don't have the same philosophy with backings as Junior, so that's another reason I don't tend to watch his channel much. I'm not saying there's anything wrong at all with the way he does things. It's just I like apples, he likes oranges when it comes to backing methods. They both get the job done. It's just I'd rather do it a certain way and teach it a certain way, and I have my reasons for doing it that way. He probably has some rationale for his as well. So I don't mean any disrespect at all to him. He does a really good thing for people. He's got a lot more subscribers than I have. He's very well known. If I remember right, he normally drives like a white Freightliner, but all his trucks are all pretty highly adorned with decals and stuff. I don't think I've ever personally seen this truck in person, but I know from what I understand, he has like 3 different trucks. There was some other guy's YouTube channel I just came across not long ago as recommended, and decided to watch it. I don't even remember the guy's name, but I remember him saying, being at a truck stop and spotting one of Junior's trucks and saying, yeah, this is one of Junior's trucks. I don't know if he's in it, but this is one of his trucks. Almost to Burden. And about 21 miles to go to Milan. All in all, this doesn't seem to be taking too long to get through. A little bit quicker than I thought it would. When we get up by Highway 6, it'll actually open up into, I think, 2 lanes in each direction. It's a lot nicer. Highway 6 is a good way to get out of here and go west. I will need to go generally west when I'm empty. That'll be another video. But I Doubt that I'll take Highway 6 because I need to go northwest, not southwest or west. So my thought is I might take a different route out. I'll figure that out when I'm at the receiver, which route I want to take up to Council Bluffs. Basically work my way over to one of, I would imagine, head generally north or west over to one of the U.S. highways. And then go west on one of the U.S. highways over to, all the way across to I-29 or something. And that would be my guess as to what the most practical route from Milan over to Council Bluffs would be, because Council Bluffs is right where I-29 and I-80 meet up, right on the other side of the Missouri River from Omaha. Alright, 25 zone here. Let's back it off so we don't have some ticky-tack bullshit speeding ticket from some cop who might be hiding somewhere over here watching, and never know. Sunlight Mennonite Church. That's something I don't see every day. Mennonite Church. Some of you, there's another STI truck right there. Some of you be like, what the hell is a Mennonite church? Mennonites are basically Amish people, but they can do, but they're okay with some technology or something. I think they can drive cars and they have some interactions with technology. So I'm not really sure all the ins and outs, but that is my understanding. They do tend to look very much like Amish people. Browning 6 miles, Milan 18. So I guess in a way you'd call a Mennonite a little bit more modernized Amish person. Sound good? Actually, I should do some reading up on them myself and see what really are some of the differences between a Mennonite and an Amish person. I know my understanding is that's the key difference, though. I'm not completely certain that I'm even getting that correct, exactly right, but I think it's along that line. Kind of a narrow road here, but at least I can move at a pretty decent speed all the way through. Up looking barn or whatever that thing is. It looks like they needed this. Raise it. Tear it down. By raise, I don't mean R-A-I-S-E raise. I mean R-A-C-E. That's another thing where American English can be very difficult to learn. Is a lot of times we have these homophones and things like that, or different ways to pronounce the same word, like root versus route, or Batavia versus Batavia. Andy. Alright, so as I but speaking of that, though, I always do get a laugh when even my American friends butcher the pronunciation of a lot of cities in my area. Because if you've never been to California or never looked at California closely on a map, keep in mind California used to belong to Mexico, and a lot of the cities there were around since before the U.S. acquired that state, that area from Mexico. So a lot of the cities still have their original Spanish names, and Spanish linguistic rules, they differ from American English rules. So I have a couple of friends, for example, who always pronounce, they spell Jurupa, Jurupa. And one of my friends just said that, just call it that yesterday. Or no, it wasn't that one. I'll get to that one in a second. But a couple of friends though, they call it Jurupa Valley, and I'm laughing every time I hear that because it's Jurupa. In Spanish, J is pronounced like an H, not a J. And that's one of the other spots where English speakers struggle with Spanish. They're struggling to learn how to speak Spanish the Spanish appropriate way without an accent. And the effort that I put into trying to articulate words the correct way in basically this Mexican Spanish dialects that I'm used to. For that reason, my wife and even her brothers and mom and all them, we were all native Spanish speakers. They all say that I have virtually no accent at all. I mean, my wife says I have a very slight hint of an American type accent, but very, very, very subtle. In general, I sound, she says I sound very much like them with what words I actually do speak. I just got to get my vocabulary up and I'll be fine. I don't know, I just never seem to take the time to do that. I mean to, I just never do. But anyway, Jurupa Valley, or Jurupa Valley, is the proper way to pronounce it. Because if you know the root language, then you know the proper way to pronounce it. Or Daniel, my friend Daniel, the same guy I was talking about yesterday, and Jesse Wyatt, and Diane Wyatt, they're all friends of mine, and Jesse and Diane watch my channel sometimes. They all had a tendency to call the mountain pass that's right by my house the Cajun Pass. That's another one. I laugh every time, but Cajun? You mean Cajon? No, Cajun. And because they see the J and they think it should be pronounced like a J. And on top of that, a couple of times they've mistakenly thought that the O in Cajon is actually a U, so it looks just like the word Cajun to them. Well, that's because I figured that out after one of them misspelled the word in our group. I'm like, oh, that explains why you call it Cajun Pass, because you're not even spelling it correctly. It's Cajon Pass. Alright, Milan, 12 miles away. Okay, there'll be a road on the south side of Milan that I'll be turning on. If I recall, and that'll take me right up to now, speaking of this place, if you ever get a load over here, don't make the mistake of going to the north end of their building, off Highway 6. You got to hit it from the south end. mentioned my friend Daniel, the one I was just talking about. He and I were just talking about how he did the same exact route. And he said when he did it, he went up 63 up to, forget what that town is, and then came across Highway 6 basically from there. And he tried to come in, I guess check in on the north end, and found out the hard way that he was supposed to come in on the south end. I did Google reviews on the place, looked at Google reviews on the place before I ever came here, and I got the gist from other people's reviews that I was supposed to dock in or check in on the south end, and I could see that the docks were down there as well. So before I came here, I trip planned on actually going that direction. Now my original trip plan, I was going to take this particular route that I'm on now. But I ended up changing my mind after a much more experienced friend was telling, who was also coming here to deliver the same day as me, the same night, whatever. He was telling me he was going to take 129 up, and what, that County Road C or whatever the hell it's called. And he had a lot more. He said things that made me think that he was familiar with these roads already. So I went ahead and gone with that way just for the hell of it. I'm like, oh, no way. And even more, added more to that fun. It started to snow up on the north end of that route. And there were a couple little spots where the road was completely covered in snow. I mean, it was mostly good shape, but there's two patches there on the entire road from one side to the other. And, like maybe about 50 to 100 foot section or something was completely covered in snow in two spots. Then have these like really big up and down hills and stuff, and then there's one where there's a small bridge at the very bottom of the hill that you have to go down, and mind you, I had a 40,000 pound load I was bringing in, and with that and I didn't want to, and I didn't, especially with road conditions, I was worried that I was gonna lose my momentum trying to, and then get stuck trying to get up the next hill, so I didn't want to lose too much speed. Then you see this little bridge down at the bottom, and I mean it's truck legal, but there's a truck speed limit across it of, I think it was 15 miles an hour if I recall. So then I had to slow down to a slower speed to get across that bridge, not do any damage to it. And I was able to make it up, but it was definitely a little bit of an interesting trip. Like I said, I almost thought about going that way just for the hell of showing you guys that route. Maybe next time if I come out here again, which I suspect I will, because we seem to do a pretty fair amount of loads here in the Milan now. But that day I came in here, myself and Daryl, my friend, were both delivered the same day. And when I got there were already two other JCT trucks sitting there, already checked in, waiting to dock in themselves. And I'm running into more and more JCT drivers who have some kind of experience with this facility as well. Personally, I like some of these little oddball places like this. They're interesting to me, and I don't want to necessarily make it an everyday habit of doing these kind of routes, but at the same time, I don't mind doing them either. But I'm a lot easier going than most drivers. Like I don't have anything in there saying I won't go into this area or that area, or whatever. Now you got something you need taken to New York City, okay, give it to me. I'll take it. I don't care. It won't necessarily be my first choice, but if that's the best load available, then give it to me. I don't care. Miles are miles. And if they're offering the load to me, it's probably going to be the best load available that they can give me. Usually the case. really close to Highway 6 now, where it comes in from the west. The Junction T Tango here coming up. The pickup's coming all the way up here to Milan, I think, isn't he? He's been behind me the entire time that I've been on this highway. He's staying a little bit, you know, just a little bit back, I think, for better visibility and kind of predicting my up and down speeds. Truck coming at me. Is that another STI? Or not somebody else? Looks like an STI. I don't know where they're based, but there seem to be a lot of them in the area, so there must be somewhere around here. I think I'll have to look them up and figure out where their terminal actually is. Alright, Highway 6 right here. Just had another truck come in off of it. Trenton, 26 miles west of here, or at least via that route. Look like Rieger. St. Joseph, 105. Yeah, I don't want to go down to St. Joseph. Exact way I came out of there. I'm pretty sure I know. I see a white road that I'm going to hit before I get into town that I believe is the one I want. Just trying to remember exactly how I came out, because I came the other way last time and I came in from a different direction. Or came in from a different highway, whatever, so. Right here, where 5 and 6 are concurrent with each other. The roads, the lanes are wider. Now it's 12-foot wide lanes instead of 11 or 10, whatever they were, and also have a shoulder area. So a lot nicer through here. I guess this other truck in front of me is probably going to the same place. Should be no more than a few miles away now. Yeah, that's it. This road coming up, perhaps a mile or so away, it'll be a right turn on the, I don't know the name of that road, but pretty certain that's the road I used to get out of there last time. Yeah, left curve, a slight left curve coming up, and then right after the left curve will be my right turn. This truck's going into Milan also. So I'll be following him all the way in. Locust Creek Conservation Area, 2 miles. Alright, let's pick up behind me. He's going by now. like, yeah, finally getting by that Highland Veterinary Center. So I'm probably relieved to finally be rid of me. Garcia's Auto Repair and Transmission. Nemo Family Health Clinic. Health care for your entire family. What is this place? Is this another business or? Oh, okay. That's a church. Primera Iglesia Batista. Nice little lake here. It is visible on the map. Okay, it's going to be a right turn on the County Road C, I think it is, if I remember right. And then just after that, a left into their lot. North Missouri Livestock Auction. Milan, population 1960. A right turn, yeah, remember he's at. I see another JCT just outside their fence right there. Yeah, actually two JCTs. So who do we have here? These other guys look like they might have already made their deliveries or something, or just doing probably 10-hour breaks or something. You know, they tend to do 2 trucks at a time here, if I recall. Usually one inbound and one outbound on 3639 Hotel. I've seen him before. So we've got a Schuster here. Let's wait for him to back in, and then I'll back in next to him. Go ahead and send my arrival call while I'm waiting for him. Come on. Come on, 0414 at 0749.
You have 6 hours and 51 minutes of remaining drive time.
The other one is a black KW. Let me wait for him to, I think he's going to reset himself first. Yeah, I'm waiting for him to finish first. Because he might need to pull past Schuster to, no, okay. All right. Okay, that door right in front of me where the outhouse supply is where I'll be checking in at. Accidentally got it pointing a little bit too much toward the other guy's truck. Wait for my tandem to get by his mirror and then I'll turn it. Okay, ordinarily I might have yard moved it, but I didn't really care if I go into driving mode today because I'm not going to be, I know I'm not going to use my entire 11-hour clock today, most likely. I don't really expect that my load in Council Bluffs to be ready to roll today. I don't know, I could be wrong. So there's a possibility I could, but it's not that big a deal, especially if I'm not expecting to pick it up until tomorrow, and it's not due in Ontario until the 18th anyway, so I don't need to be in too big a hurry to get that load moving. It'd be nice if I can, but we'll see. I'm going to get checked in, be back in a minute. Okay, so I'm all checked in. Standard procedure here is they put your info down on their log, whatever, and then they give you the bills back. And they'll come out and break the seal, verify and break the seal, whatever, when they're ready for you. And then I'll have you dock in at whichever door. They usually, like I say, they usually do about 2 trucks at a time. There's only 1 truck in the door right now, and then there's a drop trailer, or drop trailers, I mean. Might be a little bit of time here, I don't know. This guy, this RK trucking guy that I followed in, he's actually here to pick up a load, but it sounds like he's waiting on product. I don't know if I have some of what he needs or something else, or I don't know what all these guys are, what their situations are. I do know that the Trans Am driver over there on the end, though, gets pissed off the dock guy. He said he came into the lot at like 40 miles an hour or some shit, like really fast. And and he started giving the guy attitude and all that. Saying, I was only doing 10 miles an hour. Like hell you were. My forklift can do 8 miles an hour, and I was going, and you're going way faster than what my forklift can do. And so we were all talking about how there are too many drivers who drive their trucks like they're in a freaking race car. You can't do that. They're big. You can't see around, and you can't see around them very well, and they don't stop so easily. They don't race around in parking lots. You're not in a freaking car. Don't drive your damn truck like a car. It's all too common a problem. I saw guys racing in and around in the parking lot yesterday at the Loves. Don't do it. If you think it's okay to do that, to drive like that, then just get the hell out. Stay out of the industry. You don't belong in a truck. Dickey Transport, Packwood, Iowa. I have no idea where Packwood, Iowa is, but alright, anyway, this might take a while. I don't know how long it'll take. But I don't think it's going to be right away because got at least 4 other trucks here in line as well. So it might not take, I don't know, I might not have to wait for all of them because, I don't know, like this guy here next to me could be waiting on some of my product or something so he can get loaded, but we'll see. Just plan, I know it'll take me some time to get in the dock door, so we'll have some more footage here for you very shortly, okay? be too close to the other guy?
Yeah, that hook's gone, so I just went ahead and shut it back.
Okay, no problem. I'll take care of it.
Whenever you get backed up there, then we can open them up.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to screw anything up more it is. So.
Yeah, I'll check it out. It's welcome back. Got a dock door assignment, door 6. Schuster's in it right now. As soon as they leave and are out of the way, I can back into it. Took a bit to get checked in, to get docked in here. Let's see, I sent my arrival call at 7:50. Now 11:10, so it's been over 3 hours waiting here. It's not too surprised by. Won't take that. I don't think it'll take that long to unload though. It's like bulk tubs of chicken that I have in here, and I think it's 17 pallets if I remember correctly. Yeah, this thing's still thinning out all my air. And also this trailer, the hook for the right side door is missing. Yeah, I didn't even notice that when I picked it up, but I remember when I was doing my pre-trip, I did notice a hook down on the ground, but I didn't think much of it. At least I think it was at that location. I didn't think much of that came from my trailer. I thought it might have been sitting there from somebody else's, and didn't think to look, but thankfully I have bungee strap. I was able to hook to, and hopefully it'll hold up. And gotta watch out for this kind of thing, because this is a great way to have a door get ripped off. So I gotta be real careful not to do that. I'll have to really watch closely as I dock in, and make sure it stays hooked up over there, and maybe make sure I bump the dock door more gently than, be more particularly gentle with it, whatever. I know Schuster just got out, was just getting back in their truck or something. Oh, now he's pulling away. Okay.
You have 8 hours and 0 minutes of remaining drive time.
How about personal use? Forced to move by shipper. Release the brakes. I was thoughtful of Schuster to come all the way out that far, so I could back in while he's doing that. Okay, I want to keep pulling in toward this guy that I came in behind. And as I get closer, I'll start rotating it more toward the door. No, not enough. Look for Schuster's tire tracks. That'll help. Channel with this. Alright guys, I'm all done here. Definitely a slower experience here today. 2 hours 48 minutes in the dock door, not to mention the 3+ hours it took waiting for the dock door to open. So yeah, probably be a couple hours of detention pay coming in this one. Like the other JCT driver, I believe his name is Rick. I think I've talked to him, and I'm wondering if he's the same guy who was here last time I was here. But it looks like they're getting ready to have him dock in now. We're going to bet Trans Am's going to be waiting all day because he pissed off the receiver, and I mean, he was here before I got here, and he's still waiting for a dock door. This goes to show, don't piss off the receivers because they can make your time miserable here. Of course, I mean, I can always just say, well, hey, I'm here on time. Guess what? You're gonna pay me detention pay. Go ahead, keep me here as long as you want to. My next load picks up tomorrow, and won't hurt my feelings. But I'm also, I'm not one of those guys that gets all bent out of shape and treats treats customers like crap either. So, all right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream here, this video here, get my doors closed and whatever, and then start deadheading now to Council Bluffs. So, all right, we'll see you guys next time. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good day.